Hey guys, welcome back. It is Bushcraft Family with another video, and I thought this would be an interesting conversation, so to speak. As you can tell by the title, five things that tell you, or five signs that will tell you the government is collapsing. And believe it or not, there's a couple in here that has already happened. So 5 things. This is, the government is failing, collapsing, however you want to put it. And you can go back in history and see other countries or governments, how they failed and the stages of them failing. Rome, look, Rome used to be, no one would ever have thought that Rome would collapse the way it did, but every government, every country or whatever goes through these things. We've already done it here in the United States. We came out of it only because of a war. But I figured let's go ahead and just jump right into it. The number 5, and I'm going to go 5 to 1. So there's a couple in here you guys really want to pay attention to, especially 1, because that's right now. So number 5, when your city can't afford to function. Draining city budgets. Look at Chicago. They're like $35 billion in the hole right now. How long will it take them before they can't function? And how much of the government are they relying on? Eventually, they're going to collapse. Look at Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. They went bankrupt. There's multiple cities, multiple states that are having trouble right now. And, everybody's going to blame it on the COVID thing. All these things. But the fact being, they were having trouble before that. From 2019 on up, I didn't go too much further than that because it didn't really matter. But I went back to 2018, 2019. There are 15 major cities that, their police stations, their 911s, and their all that kind of stuff were faulty. They were going downhill, and that is a decline of your structure within your cities. The city functions go, and then the state, and then you guessed it, government types things. Number 4, I don't know. This one's pretty close to being number 1, but any of them could be number 1. But I wanted to keep number 1 for the big one. Americans stop trusting the system, the government. Right now, we have social media telling us this lie to that lie to the other lie, which makes it a lot easier for us to not trust them. Just like live the other day I was doing with talking about certain conspiracies and things. There are a lot of we can come up with tons of different conspiracies because they make it so easy, and I think it's programmed that way. Before blaming the government for or the president, which is a thing now, it's worth mentioning that the decline started in the 70s You could probably say it started JFK-ish times and on, or, you know, Nixon on. You could go back further than that probably. But the point being, just think of it percentage-wise. How much do you trust the government or the system, so to speak? However you want to sling it. How much do you is it like 20%? Is it below 20%? And this goes for, you know, any citizen, so to speak. You talk to the Gen Zs, oh, you know, ICE this and, you know, immigration that, and, you know, the other things with the kids and whatnot. They don't trust the government. And you come over to the right side with the MAGAs or whatever they want to call them. They sure don't trust the government. You know, drain the swamp and all that. But let's go to our next one. Number 3 on the list, and we're moving on down. Supply chain is broken. Whoops. We've had that one. Remember 2021. Empty shelves, shipping delays. It wasn't just like for 3 days, because that's the big 3. You know, grocery stores, the major grocery stores have a supply of 3 days. Once that supply is gone, you have to wait for another 3 days before another shipment comes in. But as we've seen during COVID, supply chains were broken. The supply chains were broken all the way to the ports. I remember doing reports about how many cargo ships were out in the LA Bay area. Hundreds, and some of them were there for months. So that's a breakdown of the system, and it happened so easily. I'm not saying, you know, anything, but it was easily destroyed from the government side of it down, because, you know, so many gallons of milk were just destroyed because they went to go get it inspected. Inspectors weren't there because the government told them not to go because of bad stuff. And so they couldn't sell to their distributors because it wasn't inspected. So it started from way above and it worked its way down. Now, another thing is number 2. This one's important now, and try to think. The government is telling you not to rely on them, but rely on yourself. Does that sound familiar? You remember when FEMA told everybody, make sure you have 72 hours of, you know, preps and things, a way to survive for 72 hours, and then FEMA will rush in and save you. There's many sites that you can go to that tell you to prepare. The CDC told you to prepare for a zombie attack. Yeah. Multiple government agencies want the people to prep, but not for too much. Because if you go too much, like in the 30-day range, you know, if you prepare for too much, then you're a hoarder and everybody has to report that person. So, you know, the government's telling you to rely on yourself. Stop and think about that. And our next one here, and I could talk about the last one for a good while, but okay. The last one here on the list is money is running out. This one is, it's happening right now in plain sight. The numbers are so large they stop feeling real. One of the most unsettling statistics lately is one made what we're facing. 49% of Americans cannot afford food, or they struggle to do so. That's half, for the Gen Zs out there that having trouble with that. That's a little bit less than half of the United States. They struggle. Not to mention, other things, their credit and stuff. Credit debt has went up because people are using credit cards to eat. When they used to buy things to better their homes and stuff like that, now credit cards are being used for food. The nation here, United States, debt has crossed $34 trillion. Now, Trump goes and tries to fix that with, look how much money he got from tariffs and stuff, but everybody freaked out. Oh, the prices are going to go up. Yeah, because this tariffs thing should have been done decades ago, because everybody passed the buck to the next person. Oh, it's going to raise this and that. I can't have that under my term. And that's where it happened. Everything right now is getting more expensive besides fuel. It's one of those things. But again, I talked about this as Trump being a very smart person and planned so much of what is going on now. Be it if you think it's for him or for the country or whatever, he thought way ahead of time on this. And yeah, your money buys less. You could talk about shrinkflation and all that. Look in the 80s when we used to get a Happy Meal. The burgers were good size. The burgers back then were the size of the big burgers now. That little burger, that it's like a slider in the Happy Meals now. I'm like, what? Oh, we're cutting down for obesity and stuff. Anyways, people that are on fixed incomes, those who are retired or disabled, they're just struggling. I'm at the point to where I'm barely getting by because, first of all, I don't even get food stamps anymore. I don't qualify for food stamps anymore. It's not that I'm making too much. It's just whatever standards they put in place under the computer said, oh, no, you don't get none anymore. So, which I was only getting $23, but I could buy a loaf of bread for that at least. We used to have money put back for emergencies and stuff like that. The money is not there anymore. It was used to feed us. Not to mention the value of things, the resale value, I should say, of things. That's went, down the tube. But yeah, think about it. I mean, go through these 5 things, and do you think we're close? Really? Do you think we're close? People talk about the value of the dollar and stuff. That's a good thing to look at. And look at the money, the billionaires of the world. Where are they all coming from? You know, what states or what countries do they live and stuff? And look at them. A lot of stuff is good to look at. Look at the numbers and everything. Anyways, I'm going to leave you at that and let me know what you guys think. Out of those 5, how many of those numbers, how many of that on that list are now? Like always, God bless.